actually kind of want a coffee. Wow! Welcome to my living room. Hi, Boo-Boo. She does not give a fuck. I just posted a story on my Instagram and I'm so scared that people are actually gonna see it and like think about me. What the fuck? We're good. Let's do that again. Fuck! Fuck yeah! Wow. Taste test! It's delicious. Hi guys, welcome to another video. My name is Carlina. Thank you so much for watching this and I hope you enjoy. It's March 4th today, so I thought it would be a good time to make a March TBR. It's maybe a little late, but it's fine. It's fine. And I thought it would be fun to use a TBR prompt kind of thing. Okay, so I put 12 different notes in here and I'm going to be picking out books that kind of match the notes I put in. I'm using this Hans and Gretel themed mug. Now that that's out of the way, let's start. So the first book is a book set in a different country. So my mind kind of immediately went over here to this book. Pretty sure it's set in London. Or am I lying to myself? Okay, so the book I picked out for a book set in a different century is this one. This book is about a woman named Linda. She doesn't want to marry this guy, so she escapes to London and then she finds happiness and love and stuff over there. I'm pretty sure I only bought this book because I think the cover is pretty. Because I'm reading the synopsis and it's not that I'm like, yeah, this sounds really interesting. But you know what? I bought it, I spent fucking money on it, and maybe it's a good thing that I actually am gonna fucking read it for once. I'm very excited to start this and the cover is really pretty, so I'm excited to like bring this with me on the train on my way to school or something and just read and be like, Okay, now for the second book of this month, a mystery or a thriller. I know exactly what I'm gonna grab. Over here, I'm grabbing this bitch. I grabbed 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I've been wanting to read this book for so long, so it's time I finally get to it. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I love the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, so I'm very, very excited to finally read this. This book is about a road trip with 6 friends, and their RV breaks down, but it's not an accident, someone's actually behind it, and they have 8 hours to figure out who it is, or else not everyone will survive the night. How fun, how exciting. I'm gonna take off the sticker down. So much better, but I did peel off some of the lettering. Why do you put a fucking sticker on it then? I don't get it. The person I wanted to respond to my story responded to my story? What do you mean? And the next book is gonna be a book on my Kindle. I have a lot of fucking books on my Kindle, so this is great. Here she is in the flesh. Okay, yeah, I know which one I want. Okay, so I have the book Did You Hear About Kitty Carr on here. I started this book quite a while ago, but I didn't finish it. I think I literally read like 10 pages of it, but I just did not feel like it at the time. I think I'm just gonna give this one another try. Let me see what it's about for you guys. Okay, so it follows this really wealthy family, and then they find the journals of Kitty Carr, which I think is like the mother or something of the wealthy family. I don't really know, but they find her journals and they find out a lot of controversy about Kitty Carr. So, you know, again, I love tea, I love drama, so I'm very excited about this book. And Taylor Jenkins Reid has read it, and she said it was amazing. So, you bet your ass that I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of this. The next book that I'll be reading this month is gonna be the book with the most colorful cover. So I think my most colorful book is Happy Place by Emily Henry. It's very colorful. The graphic designer who designed the cover did not hold back. Guys, this used to be the color of my wall. Why would you make a book this color? So this book follows a couple who go together like bread and butter, like it says in the synopsis, and then they go on a vacation together, but they've actually been broken up for 6 months already, but they haven't told anyone because this is the last summer they can vacation in the cottage that they usually stay in because they're selling it. I've heard a lot of good things about this, so I'm very, very excited to be reading this book. And also, it's kind of summery vibes, and because it's March, it's basically May, it's basically July, it's summer. So this is gonna be great to get me into that summer mood. So the next book, it's gonna be a book that I think will be 5 stars. Okay. Oh, I know, I got it. It's this bitch over here. Do you see her? It's gonna be that bitch. Okay, so the book that I think will be 5 stars is gonna be Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I've heard so many good things about this, and I've heard so many good things about the author. I have multiple books of her, but I have not read any of them. This is the most anticipated read from her for me, so I'm very, very excited to read this. Liz wants to get her forever crush Michael to notice her at the prom, so she asks Wes to be her date, aka fake dating. You know, I'm about to gobble that shit up. Then she figures out that she actually likes being around Wes. Cute! A cute, fluffy little romance will always do it for me. Next, my ass will be reading a book with a world that I want to live in. I'm cheating, I'm grabbing 2. In an ideal world, I would want to live in the Daisy Jones and the Six world because I want Billy Dunn. That's it. And it's in the 70s and it's just slay. But that's not fair because this is a to be read prompt. So I really wanted to grab a fancy book, but since I don't know the fancy worlds in the books I haven't read yet, I decided to go with a book with a world I'm sure I like and love, and it's Great or Nothing. And this book is basically a like spin-off from Little Women. And you bet your ass that I want to live in that fucking cottage with Laurie. So I want to live in this book world, so I'm going to read this book. So this book basically follows Meg, Jo, Amy, and Beth during World War II. So that's cool. The next book. A book that I think will emotionally wreck me. I got this. This fucking bitch over here. A friend of mine read this and she also read the second book in the series and she was just fucking crying day after day whilst reading this book and the other one. So I think that this is gonna be the perfect book to emotionally damage me this March. This book follows Autumn and Finn and how they used to be inseparable, but then something changed and now they're both trying to move on with their lives, but every time they pass each other, there's just something that they can't deny. And they realize that they might not get another chance to make it right, so they have to do it now. I'm gonna be violently sobbing whilst reading this book. I can just tell already. The next book. The prettiest book I own. Huh. Ooh, I know! Fuck yeah. Hold on. This bitch, she's so pretty. Are you kidding me? Guys, look at how pretty it is. This book is a story about the person who shot Abraham Lincoln. Cool. Slay. I'm very excited to read this. And it's pretty, so it's fine if it sucks. The next book will be the first book of a series. Shut the fuck up. Bitch, I know this shit. I know I wrote down the cards myself, but I know this shit. I will finally be fucking reading Powerless because I've heard so many bitches talking about this and I'm so excited to read this. I've been wanting to read this for so long, but I've been putting it off because I want to read it right before part 2 comes out, Reckless, in June, I think. But I'm also too excited to wait for like another 3 months, so I'm excited to finally read this. This book is set in a world where only the elites have powers and everyone else is just ordinary, and everyone who's ordinary is banished from the kingdom. And then we have Peyton, who actually doesn't have powers, but she's posing as a sidekick to blend in with the elites. But then she accidentally saves one of the princes from the kingdom and she has to compete in this contest. And then if the trials of the contest don't kill her, the prince will find out that she's actually just ordinary. And then the next book from the beautiful mug will be a very anticipated read. Shit, I wish I could pick Powerless. Oh, I know. It's gonna be this bitch. It's gonna be her. For my very anticipated read, it's gonna be Binding by Chloe Walsh. A friend of mine has read this entire series and she loves it so much. Me and that friend are literally the same person, so if she likes a book, I like a book. So I'm sure that this is gonna be great. This book follows Johnny and Shannon. Johnny is a rugby player and Shannon arrives at a private school praying for a fresh start, and then they fall into friendship, and then they have undeniable chemistry, and then they get into a blossoming relationship. Next. A book set in a different century. This girl. It's gonna be her. Okay, so I picked out The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. This is set in 1561 and it's a story about a singular woman who must battle for survival during the Italian Renaissance. How very exciting! Next. A book that has been on my TBR for too long. There's too many of them. Hey, there's like 20 of those. Oh, I know. This bitch has been collecting dust on my shelves for 3 years now. So it's time I finally get to it. I'm of course talking about The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Set in Greece in the Age of Heroes. We follow Prince Patroclus and Achilles and they become friends and maybe even something deeper, but the mother doesn't want that because she's a bitch. I don't know if she's a bitch, but... And then someone gets kidnapped and Achilles has to go to war and his friend Patroclus goes with him. So again, no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm excited. Okay, next, a book by one of my favorite authors. Bitch, again, I got this. Of course, I'm going to be reading a book by the one and only Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you watched my first video, you know that I will read anything this woman writes. So I'm gonna be reading After I Do. This book follows a couple who have been together since college and then they decide to take 1 year away from each other and the only rule is that they cannot contact each other. And it kind of follows that story about what love means to them and what they are willing to fight for and is there a new road to a happily ever after. This is gonna be fucking crack. Next, a book that was recommended to me. I'm ashamed to hold this, but All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover was recommended to me by a friend. And by reading this book, I will find out whether she's actually a friend or a person trying to hurt me. I personally do not really love Colleen Hoover, but I mean, she was very positive about it. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go for once. So this book follows a couple that's very in love and then 7 years later, they're at a breaking point. I'm just gonna give it a go. Who knows? Next. Fuck. A book that matches my current vibe. I decided to go with Normal People by Sally Rooney. I have no idea what the book's about. I haven't even read the synopsis, but Paul Mescal plays in a movie and I want him, so he matches my current vibe. In this book we follow Connell and Marianne. Connell is very popular and well liked and Marianne is kind of a loner and when they start talking there's a spark and it follows their story. Very, very cute. Does not match my current vibe at all, but again I want Paul Mescal, so it's close enough. Now, a book with a ugly cover. What cover do I... Ooh, I know which one I find atrocious beyond repair. I'm so excited to read this book, but the cover is so butt fucking ugly. Why would you do that? I don't get it. I'm talking about yours truly. I've already read the first book in this series called Part of Your World, and I really enjoyed that one. And a friend of mine has already read this one and said it was really good, so I'm excited to read it. But what the fuck is this? Guys, what? Have we learned nothing? What is this? The color is ugly. It's just so ugly. I hide it behind those books over there because I don't want anyone to see it because it's ugly. Now, the last book that I bought. The last book that I bought is Stone Cold Fox by Rachel Collar Groft. I bought it because it's pretty. What's it about? I don't know. Look how pretty it is. And without the sleeve, it's ugly. So don't look at that. So the story follows a woman named Bia and she wants to marry filthy rich. Real. Very relatable. And in order to marry the guy that she has her sights set on, she has to go toe to toe with his childhood best friend. It actually sounds pretty intriguing and the cover is really pretty. So I'm excited. Now for the last book I'm reading in March. A book I do not want to read at all. And before y'all get mad at me, hear me out. I have heard a lot of things about this book. The chapters are long, it puts me in a reading slump, but it's also beautiful and heartbreaking. So because all those mixed feelings are just thrown at me, I don't know what to do with this book. So it's just sitting there on my shelves looking pretty, but maybe it's time I actually get around to reading it. So I'm talking about The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This book follows a group of eccentric misfits at a elite New England college. You know what? It's time I read it because I've heard so many things about it and I want to be in on the conversation. Who knows? Maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe I hate it, maybe I'll cry. I'm sweating. Okay guys, so this is my March TBR. I'm very excited to see if I'm actually going to be reading any of these books. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a comment, like, talk to me about the books you love. I'm so excited to hear about them. And thank you so much for watching. Yay! Bye guys.